Good day, everyone. I'm your host, Lee Judge, and welcome to today's webinar entitled Add Agent Guidance to Your Ticketing System and Speed Ticket Resolution, brought to you by Jacada. As a note, to honor the privacy of our attendees, only your name will appear in the attendee window. Our presenter today is Carnell Jita, Solutions Consultant at Jacada. Today we'll look at how to guide your agents from within your existing ticketing system to successfully answer customers' needs, as well as how to achieve fast and effective ticket resolution regardless of complexity level. Following the presentation, there will be a question and answer session, so please feel free to type your questions into the Q&A window at any time. Also, as a note, to honor the privacy of our attendees, only your name will appear in the attendee window. So let's begin. The presentation is all yours, Carnell.
Great. Thanks very much, Lee. And I'd like to add my welcome to you all as well. This is Carnell Jita. I'm a solutions consultant at Jacada. I've been with the company for about 5 years, and I specialize in the kind of solutions that are the theme for today. And it's my pleasure to present this webinar on adding agent guidance to your ticketing system to speed up ticket resolution. And for today, I have just 3 objectives that I'd like to achieve on the webinar. The first, if you're not familiar with Jacada, I'd like to give a quick overview of who we are, what we do. The second objective is a theme for this webinar, which is about how adding agent guidance to your ticket system will speed up ticket resolution. And the third is to summarize and review the benefits of the agent and the ticketing guidance approach, and then look at potential next steps as well. So a little bit about Jacada. We've been in the industry for about 25 years. We're a pure customer care company. We're focused on improving the customer experience, and we do this across several channels. We have many millions of customers, and tens of thousands of contact center agents benefit from our products and our solutions every single day. We work with large enterprise organizations throughout the world, and we're headquartered out of Atlanta in the US, where myself and Lee are right now. We have offices throughout Europe, Asia, Australia, and we partner and go to market with all the major players in the industry. So before we can talk of a solution, we need to understand the pains and challenges that are currently faced by agents within an organization. So let's turn and have a look at what that pain and what those challenges are, first of all. So Jacada's carried out literally hundreds of contact center engagements, and we've seen the following 3 themes crop up time and time again on the agent desktop. The first is that queries, problems, and support tickets that agents are working on are increasingly complicated, and they require agents to understand complex product configurations, tech support, troubleshooting, and definitely multi-vendor solutions. The complexity means that if you look at how, say, 10 agents are tackling a problem, chances are they're doing it all very different ways. So that in itself might not be a big deal, it might be quite acceptable, but the chances are that some of them are arriving at the wrong conclusion, or they're going down the wrong path, or they are tackling the problem in probably what may not be the most efficient way possible. So what's needed here is contextual guidance. The second theme that we've seen is having contextual information. In other words, the right information, having that easily available to hand. Without that, you get valuable time wasted. And the third theme is actually a result of the first 2, which is that agents get frustrated with the workload and the backlog they have of open tickets, and this inevitably will affect the customer base as well. Now, if you look at what effect this has on the organization, you see that lengthy ticket resolution times and a high number of agents in the contact center leads to, inevitably, very high contact center costs in terms of telephony infrastructure, salaries, and so on. And it also becomes very difficult to manage and allocate resources when there's unexpected peaks in call volume. And we've seen many, many cases where agents, they just change their jobs just to get out of the high-pressure environment in the organization. So to sum up, these are all the symptomatic pains and challenges of today's tech support and product support and general contact center scenarios. So therefore, what I'd like to do now is turn our attention to how one organization, which, when it was faced with these pains and challenges, how they went about actually solving them. And the case study that we've picked today is actually Telefonica O2. They're one of the largest telcos in Europe. They've got several thousand contact center agents employed in the contact center. And rather than increase their numbers even further, they look for a smarter solution to the problem of how can they reduce ticket escalations from level 1 to level 2, and how can they keep control of costs. You know, in other words, rather than hiring more agents to solve the problem, how can they get smarter and actually keep control of costs that way? So instead of constantly training agents to keep them up to date with all the latest routers and with all the latest problem-solving techniques, what they did was they got level 2 agents to use Jacada's agent guidance solution to create a solution that has all the knowledge of a level 2 agent instilled within it. And what that means is now that when level 1 agent is now talking to a customer on the phone, it's like they're having a level 2 agent sitting next to them. They're guiding them through the triage, through the diagnostic process, and giving them a contextual knowledge base of information, and so ensuring they handle the problem or the query in the most efficient way, because they're handling it exactly as the level 2 agent would do. And the results of this, I have to say, are absolutely astounding. If you look at the figures there, these are figures that are coming from Telefonica O2, and they tell us that they now have, with the Jacada solution, they now have 50% fewer escalations to level 2. They've got a 25% increase in right first time, 40% reduction in training time, and all of this, if you add it all up together, it amounts to a significant reduction in cost in their cost base. So we'll now turn our attention to looking at how the market-leading world-class solution that organizations like Telefonica O2 and many others throughout the whole world entrust to handle their agent guidance. So the Jacada solution, it's a product called Jacada Agent Scripting, and it's a very powerful agent guidance, agent scripting solution, and it's embedded directly inside of your ticketing system. And the agents get step-by-step guidance on the best way to handle a ticket, and for complex tickets with multiple paths, where the agent normally relies on their training, this takes the risk of errors out of the scenario and ensures the agent resolves even the most complex tickets in the best possible way. And how does it do this? Well, because the guidance and the scripting will have been configured using knowledge and expertise of the best agent in the contact center, it's like having them sit next to you, helping you, assisting, guiding along the way. And as you saw in the Telefonica O2 case study earlier, the results are very impressive. A marked increase in efficiency, which leads to a marked increase in resolving the issue correctly first time. And the key to this is about having the ticketing system and the agent guidance and scripting solution running side by side. That's absolutely key. They need to be sharing information. They need to be acting as if they're one as a single seamless application. And what I'd like to do now is turn to an example to illustrate exactly that point, the fact that these two solutions, the ticketing system and the guidance solution, have to be one single application. So I'll turn to an example to illustrate the point. And this picture here shows the world-leading Zendesk customer support system. We're going to use that as an example. And we've got a typical configuration of Zendesk shown here. All the details required by the agent to work on the ticket are there in the ticket, but that's it. For instance, there's no guidance on where to start. There's no next best action. There's no objection handling. There's no rebuttal handling. So, in short, there's very little help on where to go next, how to handle the ticket. And if you're an experienced agent, this may not be a big deal, but if you're somebody relatively new to the company, then this could be, a major problem. So this is where Jacada adds value. So Jacada Agent Ticket Guidance, it's an agent application. You can download it from the Zendesk Apps Marketplace, and you can get it embedded directly in Zendesk. It takes just a few clicks to install it and configure it. And what the application does is it integrates the interaction flows into the ticketing environment. It provides the agent with detailed workflows and recommended actions to take to perform next. And this is what enables the agent to handle even the most complex tickets efficiently. So what happens now with Jacada and Zendesk is that when the agent opens an existing ticket, the ticket guidance application appears in a pane on the far right-hand side. You can see it on screen now. The look and feel of the application varies according to whether the agent is creating a new ticket or whether they're updating an existing one. And so when agents are working on an existing ticket, a single interaction is displayed in the ticket guidance pane, which is what you're seeing there. And usually this interaction displays information that's specific to the ticket and based on the ticket parameters. And Jacada can go and retrieve this information through a set of Zendesk ticket variables that are configured in Jacada's interaction designer. Just bank that thought. We'll come back to the interaction designer a little later. So that's what happens with an existing ticket. And when it's open, the relevant interaction instance is launched at the page that was open when the ticket is last worked on. So what that means then is that the agent who had last worked on the ticket, when they reach the third step of the interaction, that step's automatically invoked. Automatically reopened if that's where they were last time. Well, that means it's not necessary for the agent to manually save and exit the interaction because Jacada will automatically take them back to where they were last time. But if the interaction instance is finished, if it's complete, then the history flow for that instance is displayed when the ticket's opened. So, in other words, when a ticket is escalated from level 1 to level 2, the level 2 agent can see exactly what actions and what steps the level 1 agent took before they escalated the ticket. And when the agent's finished working on a ticket, any updates they make through Jacada ticket guidance, they're automatically added to the ticket, so for everybody to see. And the great thing about this is it means they don't need to manually cut and paste information from the interaction into the script or manually add it to the script, all of which saves a significant amount of time. So how does the agent use ticket guidance in their normal day-to-day work? Well, if you've ever used an agent guidance application like Jacada's while you're working on a ticket, you'll know the two have got to be very tightly integrated, so they share information to help drive the guidance, and they automatically update the ticket from whatever was done in the guidance tool. And that's exactly how Zendesk and Jacada operates. When the ticket's created, it's optionally connected to a specific interaction. So when an agent opens it to start working on it, that interaction is dynamically opened in context to the ticket. And this is what you can see in the Jacada ticket guidance window on the right-hand side. The tool begins to provide step-by-step guidance to the most efficient ticket resolution. And the guidance is something that is typically created by subject matter experts, level 2 or level 1 engineers using the interaction designer. And I'll cover that tool shortly. So in this scenario, the agent's completed using Jacada ticket guidance, and it's automatically inserted all the agent steps as a comment in the ticket when that's being currently highlighted by the red rectangle on the left. So just to be clear, let me just repeat that. Everything the agent did within the Jacada ticket guidance, it's automatically inserted that as a comment in the ticket, so the agent doesn't need to do that. And this is what saves the agent a lot of valuable time and increases their efficiency as well. So now you know that, now you know that Jacada ticket guidance is great for providing agents with guidance or enforcing rules and procedures and ensuring corporate or regulatory compliance, but it's also well equipped to present the next best action to the agent. And it can use the data from your underlying systems and, of course, Zendesk. And it can use business rules to determine what's the next best course of action for the agent to take. I'll turn our attention now to look at how interactions such as the use cases that we just covered are created in the first place. And you recollect my referring to the interaction designer? Well, that's exactly where they're created. And this is a picture of it here. This is a very easy to use visual tool. It's all point and click, it's all drag and drop, and it's aimed at business analysts and subject matter experts to create interactions that run in Zendesk, just like the one you saw earlier. If you look in the top left-hand corner, there's a series of widgets that carry out all sorts of functions like, they present a series of choices, they ask a question, they present a form to collect data, they configure business rules, and they manipulate data as well. The pane in the center, that's the large part of the window, the pane in the center, that represents the flow of the interaction. And this is pretty much, looks and behaves like a flow chart. So it's easy to configure, easy to design, maintain, and best of all, the interaction is created using clicks, not code. And just to finish off, the pane on the right-hand side, that's the simulator view, and that shows what the interaction will look like when it's embedded inside of Zendesk. It means the interaction can be tested, and it's only when you're completely satisfied is it then going to be published and made available to contact center agents. So Jacada Agent Guidance also provides you with detailed reporting. So out of the box, you get something that we call heat maps. You have a picture of one of them on the slide here. And with heat maps, you can understand the agent's behavior like never before. It allows you to make changes to interactions and see the results in near real time. And for example, the highlighted path that you see in the diagram, that allows you to identify where, the path that most of your agents are taking. It helps you identify where most of your agents are leaving information out or they're not properly answering a question. And you can drill down into understanding why. Then you can make changes and immediately deploy the new flow and monitor the results. Heat maps and performance reports in particular, which is another canned report, in particular they help you understand how to ensure all your agents are working in the same efficient way. So this is a diagram now of the usage dashboard. It's a set of reports that provides a summary of the activity in your account, as well as a snapshot view of how your interactions are being used. The dashboard is useful for identifying patterns in usage, like the interactions and the applications that are used most throughout the whole contact center, which agents are using them, which agents are currently active with which interactions, what's the highest number of concurrent agent sessions per day, and so on. So we're almost at the end of this very short webinar on how to add guidance to your ticketing system, and I'd like to just review the benefits of this solution and then take your questions. So each of these benefits have been realized by telecoms organizations like Telefonica O2, cable operators like DTV, retail companies including Priceline, and many others in finance, in banking, in healthcare, and many, many other sectors. And what's common across the organizations are the following points that you see there. They each found that reductions in the call handling time, and they found that these are especially for the complex tickets. And this allows them to do the same with the same number of agents without increasing the headcount. They also found improvements in first call resolution, or right first time, because of the fact that subject matter experts' expertise is embedded in the actual solution. And lastly, they found that agent training times and ramp-up times are all greatly reduced as the agents exploit the power of the solution to resolve tickets faster and more effectively. And of course, this is going to have a big effect on the bottom line, which is happier customers. So where do we go from here? Well, if you're a Zendesk user, I'd encourage you to start using the product straight away. You can download it. You can download the Jacada Agent Guidance from the Zendesk Apps Marketplace. And once you've provided your credentials, you're good to go. The whole process literally takes just a few minutes. If you're not a Zendesk user, you can download Jacada Agent Guidance, Jacada Agent Scripting from Jacada's website. And you can read more about Jacada from our website. You see the address on the screen there, jacada.com/solutions/Zendesk. If you'd like to see it working, please head over to the site, fill in the requested demo form, and we'll get back to you and show you what Jacada Agent Guidance can do for your customer experience. And with that, I'll turn it back to Lee so we can get to your questions.
All right. Thank you very much, Carnell, for your valuable insights on agent scripting and ticket resolution. So due to the high participation in the webinar, we will answer as many questions as possible from the Q&A window, and then the remaining questions we'll respond to individually after the event. Let's see. Let's go to the Q&A window now, Carnell. I have a few questions here that we'll go after. The first question says, do I have to install Jacada on my servers, and how does that work?
Great. Thanks, Lee. Okay, so if I understand the question correctly, well, Jacada's got a cloud version of the guidance solution, so there's absolutely nothing to install on-premise at all. What you do is you purchase a license, you get access to the product, and you do all that without having to procure hardware or go through any kind of installation path at all. So there's a cloud version, absolutely nothing to install, no service to procure.
Okay, great. The next question we have here asks, your slides showed one agent guidance script for one ticket, but in my case, when starting to work on a ticket, there could be dozens of scripts that are relevant.
Yeah, that's a great observation, and the attendee is absolutely correct. The slides, well, they appear to show one script per ticket. However, what actually happened is that the agent was presented with a series of choices at the start of the troubleshooting, and then through a process of triage, the scripting solution gradually finds the most relevant script for them to use to complete the solution. So it's a very dynamic process, and that's one approach. Another is simply to present the agent with a list of all the scripts for their problem type and let them select the relevant one. And that's an approach that probably works better for the level 2 agent. So a couple of different approaches there depending on the agent type.
Okay, great. Our next question here is, does the system allow different scripts to be displayed to different agents based on agent skill set or dedicated teams?
Yeah, that's another great question, and the short answer to that is yes. Jacada can recognize the agent attributes from Zendesk, things like the skill set, the team that they're working in, the group they're working in, and so on. And you can use that kind of information to present different scripts to different agents. So, for instance, just to put that into practice, it would mean that a level 2 agent sees maybe a different type of script or interaction flow compared to a level 1 agent.
Okay. Next question we have here, it says, we support many different financial institutions. Can we create a different set of scripts for each institution?
Yes, actually you can, and you can do that because there's absolutely no limit on how many scripts you can create, and moreover, one script can call another script. So you can create scripts of common steps and use them across different scenarios. So, you can daisy chain these scripts so they call one another, and take what could be a very complex problem, break it down into a series of steps, and have each of these steps handled by different flows or different scripts as well.
Okay, here's a related question. How do the available scripts display to the agents, and are they easy to find?
Yeah, that's a good question. We didn't cover that in the slides, in the pictures today, but yes, the agents get a search capability, and that allows them to search for a script by things like the name of the script or any metadata that you may have attached or associated with the script as well. And what that means then is that it's very easy to find the correct script without the agent having to remember the name of the script or, the purpose of the script either.
Okay. We're going to ask just one more question, or answer one more question, and allow our attendees to get back to their busy days. So the last question we have here, the person says, I have a question about the capabilities to integrate with legacy or back-end systems using their interface to the user. Is that possible?
Okay, so that's a good question. The reason I hesitate is there's not really a short answer to that one. What I would suggest is you get in touch with us offline later, but what I can say is that Jacada product, it does integrate easily to many different underlying applications. Zendesk is one of them, you've seen that. The way it does that integration is that it uses industry standard web services and REST API. And what that means then is that we can integrate to your systems pretty much as if it was another step in the flow. And we can pass data to it, we can get data from it. Now, if your application happens to be an application that has no suitable interface, that's no problem. We do have other products within the Jacada solution suite that specialize in creating an interface from an application without needing the application source code. And that application, you know, there can be a wide variety of them. It could be a web-based application, it could be a Windows, or it could even be a host green screen mainframe style application as well.
All right. Well, thank you, Carnell. This concludes our webinar today entitled Add Agent Guidance to Your Ticketing System, Speed Ticket Resolution. Thanks again to Carnell Jita, our Solutions Consultant here at Jacada. If there are any other questions that we were unable to answer during today's session, we will respond directly to you after the event. We hope you have gained valuable insights into ticket resolution and agent scripting and how easily you can utilize it to enhance your organization's customer service. A replay of the event will be available soon on Jacada.com, and if you'd like a copy of the slide decks, please contact Carnell. His address is on the screen, or myself directly. My email address is ljudge@Jacada.com. That's LJUDGE @Jacada.com. Once again, thank you for attending today. Please visit us at Jacada.com and have a great day.